Hi guys, I've decided I'm going to give her some colour. So what I've done is I've taken a woven section out the fringe and I'm going to make that quite a dramatic fringe. And I'm going to make the sides quite dramatic because I want to accentuate the front of that hair because it's disconnected. So the colours I'm going to use today is the Magma, and it's the stroke 5-6, which is the mahogany violet, and the stroke 3-4, look at the colour of that, which is your bright copper. Okay, I'm using the Free Lights Developer so that I can basically just paint it wherever I want. I don't need to worry about foils, I don't need to worry about where it goes because it will not bleed at all. Okay, so always make sure again you've got tissue paper, towels and anything beside you to wipe your hands, okay, because if not, and especially your gloves, when you're using Magma, honestly make sure you're well covered. So what I'm going to do is, I've sectioned the sides here into zigzags, if you see them, okay, I've sectioned they two into zigzags and I've done a wee slight, I want quite a dramatic fringe, so I've taken probably a kind of half-inch section weaved to push that away because I just want a wee bit coming on top of that because I think I'll put the red on top of the copper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the copper and I'm literally going to paint it. Now don't look at her face will be covered, right, because normally if I was doing this in a client I would have something underneath her face here. In fact, I've not really got anything here. I was going to put something underneath her face, but I don't have any foil or anything here just now. So I'm literally just painting it on. Now with Magma you don't normally paint it in the scalp, but I'm going to paint it on the scalp today, just so you can see it. Okay, so I'm just going to twist that. I'm going to take my next section and my copper. I'm just making this all copper. Oh, this is me in my glory. Love this. Could do this all day. In fact, I do this practically all day. Talking about myself, just ignore me. So what I'm doing is I'm taking kind of half-inch sections and I'm just painting it on. I'm painting it right through and I'm making sure that I can get right into my root area. And normally, as I say, I wouldn't put this on a root. I would put maybe the colour Crate on the root, or maybe an alumina or a collagen on the root, and then I would put this through the mid-lengths and ends. Because what I do quite like is what I do with most of my colours, I always like a deeper root. I don't like the same colour on the root as I do at the ends, and that's again, it's a personal preference. I just don't like it. I always think it gives it a bit of dimension when you've got a different colour on your roots and you have your ends. And what I mean with dimension is it can make the hair look thicker. So see if somebody's hair is really fine, always go for a darker root because it always gives them the appearance of thicker hair because it comes out like a 3D effect and it's really, really nice. Okay, so I'm just continuing right down here. And also I don't like bright colours like this in a root, but I'm just wanting to do this today. It's just for quite a dramatic look, but normally I would never put this near a root anyway. Even if I could put it in a root I wouldn't, because I don't like a bright root. So I'm just doing this all copper here. Honestly, see when you're working with Magma, keep everything else at your road. It is murder, it stains terrible. And look at her face, God love her. And I'm trying my best to help her as I go along here. But she'll be stained by the time we're finished. You'll see it with a nice fringe. Right, so I'm just going right down my sections here and I'm painting it on straight from my root, right through to my ends. I'm putting it on just as quick as I can. Originally what I was going to do was do a panel of each, but I've decided just to go with the copper and then I'll do the red wee panels on top of it. one wee section here, and that's going to go copper as well. Because what I want to do is basically pick a focal point of her haircut, which is the front and the undercut. That's my two focal points of the haircut. Okay, so they're the ones I want to show. Doesn't look the nicest, but I'll separate that for her just now. And I'm going to do the exact same at the other side. So basically I'm just picking out the hair that I've zigzagged into wee sections because I want that to be quite dramatic around here. And again, if I had a client here, there would be colour wraps, not kitchen foil on that. I just didn't bring any out and I'm so sorry. I should have done that. Yeah, we're done with this wee section. But you can see how quick it is. But see when you see it done, it's really effective. But it's so quick. Because colouring doesn't have to take you forever. It doesn't have to take you forever to do it. She looks as if she's had a wee orange fake tan. Yeah, there it is. You're looking a wee bit better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my hands. Turn around. And I'm actually going to paint it on her undercut as well. So I'm going to paint this on her undercut. Again, the good thing about using free lights is you don't need to worry about the hair touching onto the colour you've already done because it won't affect it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick out points. So remember I told you I took this wee point here, and I'll show you. I took this wee point here from the front of the hair, then it's there. So now I'm going to paint that red. I'm going to paint that red, okay? So this is a 5-6, so it's a mahogany violet, so it's a beautiful colour, I love it. Again, you don't have to put anything in between, but I might just put a wee tiny effect, I don't know, I'll just leave it. This is the messy stuff. Look at that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to paint, I think I might just paint the rest of that all Magma. That's just what I'll do. I'll paint the rest of that with the red Magma. And then she's got red and copper, and the copper will stick out really quite dramatic. So I'm just going to paint the rest of this on here, okay? Right through. And I'm just starting the sections around here, as I can see what I'm doing. It doesn't really matter where you start as long as you keep in a sequence, especially if you're using a couple of different colours. It's not just as bad when you're only using one colour, but if you're using 2 or 3 colours, just make sure your sequence is good. So that I'm making sure that there's nothing that's not covered here. So I'm getting into my root here. So I'll let you see this side and then I'll switch the video off and I'll carry on. Okay, so let me have a wee look. Oops. Okay. Right, so I'm just going to continue to work through the rest of the hair and I'll give you a wee shout shortly. I'll let you know when it's developed, okay?